The new Microsoft analysis has found that Russia, Iran, and China are likely to engage in newly sophisticated influence and interference efforts ahead of the 2024 U.S. presidential election. The report says all three countries are seeking to shape the geopolitical outcomes in their favor amid ongoing regional conflicts. The interference efforts are likely to take place on different online platforms than those targeted in 2016 and 2020. So for more analysis, I want to bring in Jamil Jaffer. He is a founder and executive director of the National Security Institute at George Mason University's Law School. Jaffer also served as associate White House counsel to former President George W. Bush. Thanks so much for joining us. So I suppose we should not be surprised by this. And it's sad to say, but I think about all the coverage we did on misinformation, Vlad, and I am not confident that the consumer of any of this stuff is like getting it yet, would be able to identify this. So what has changed from 2016 and 2020 to now in terms of the ways foreign actors can interfere? I imagine they're even more sophisticated now.
Well, no, you're exactly right, Anne-Marie. I think what we've seen is these foreign actors learn a lot from what they saw happen in 2016 and in 2020 in terms of what worked, what didn't work, what platforms they might get uptake on and the like. And even if they weren't actually engaged in activities then, but we're watching what the Russians were doing, but the Iranians and the Chinese have learned a lot about how to operate, how to, what things might get Americans spun up, including our own internal political dynamics where the two parties are really at one another's throats. And so we're going into an election that's likely to be highly contentious. The same candidates that were up in 2020 with a very hotly disputed election, and Capitol Hill, facing challenges like a potential government shutdown.
So the report says that Moscow remains the most committed and the most capable threat to the 2024 election. The question, of course, is with so many nefarious actors out there, why does Russia, and this is maybe a poor choice of words, but why do they have the edge?
Well, Russia's been doing this for decades, right? Active measures, disinformation, misinformation is at the heart of the Russian playbook. They've actually been outdone, amazingly, by Ukraine in terms of political maneuvering and active social media campaigns in the Russia-Ukraine war. But as a general matter, this is what they do, and they do it well. The Chinese have learned a lot and are increasingly getting better at their capabilities. The Russians also just have a lot of access and have a large footprint for doing these operations. Although, again, the Chinese are leading forward, and the Iranians, and by the way, the North Koreans are also building up their capabilities in this domain as well. It's likely, Vlad, probably a case of that Russia's done it longer and better, and that's why they're probably the leader at this current time.
So the report says that China really didn't engage meaningfully in 2020. Is there a concern that that might change, and why?
Yeah, I think a few reasons why that might change. One, China's obviously feeling a lot more pressure today from the United States than it did historically. That pressure began increasing during the Trump administration. It's only increased more in the Biden administration, although there has been a little bit of back and forth with the Biden administration trying to tone things down a little bit as well by sending Secretary Blinken and other leaders over there. But they've also seen pressure on Capitol Hill. And they recognize that increasing the U.S. population is concerned about China. They're watching what's happening in Taiwan, but they're concerned about China in the United States as well. And that the Chinese see as a real problem. They're going to try to use the tactics the Russians utilize, double down on them, and try to manipulate the U.S. system to create dissension, disagreement, to undermine the rule of law, undermine our faith in our institutions, and thereby make it harder for us to operate against them and our other adversaries across the globe.
Based on your experience, what are we not doing now that needs to be done to protect the electoral process? What haven't we learned from 2016?
Well, Vlad, a couple of big things. One, I think it's what you and Anne-Marie were talking about right at the beginning, which is it's not clear that Americans today can recognize or are ready to recognize what is legitimate political discourse and what is nation-state motivated disinformation and misinformation designed to create dissension within our populace. We also have a lot of Americans that spend a lot of time and, in fact, make their main source of news TikTok, a Chinese, essentially state-influenced operation, which is a real problem. We've seen that happen just alone in the Israel-Hamas conflict, in just one example since October 7th. But there's a lot of that going on. A lot of people passing this information around. That's one of the challenges. It's a real place where a lot of disinformation can get spread. And then beyond that, to be candid, the U.S. government hasn't done as effective a job as it could in putting pressure on these other nations and frankly punishing them for engaging in misinformation and disinformation in the United States. We need to punch back at a state level. We're not doing that as effectively as we could as well.
Jamil, is part of the problem, too, that, the United States government has really been leaning into these platforms to police themselves, to, put up disclaimers and all that sort of stuff. And they're just not, either the will isn't there or they're just not very good at it.
Well, I think part of the challenge here is that to the extent the U.S. has tried to work with platforms, they've gotten themselves into trouble because they've been engaging activities that a lot of people view as interfering with legitimate American free speech. And so the government's got to be a lot more careful in what it does. At the same time, frankly, the platforms need to step up as well. They've been trying hard to moderate the content and be careful, but they're also getting hit with, are you doing this politically? Are you politically motivated or not? And so at the end of the day, what's important for the platforms is to set very clear rules and enforce them aggressively and not do it based on policy, but do it based on foreign influence content. That's the key part of the operation. It's going to be hard to figure out. There's going to be a price to pay for doing it, but it's the right thing to do and what we need to protect our election and our systems.
All right, Jamil Jaffer, thank you very much. Really fascinating insight. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Vlad. Thanks, Emery.